Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I like to do is I want to talk about the fatal headshot to JFK and the JFK assassination. The reason why I want to talk about this, now I'm not going to talk about where this shot came from or what gunman took this shot or anything else. Someone sent me an email and I received it this morning. And, they said they went to, they was very confused about this fatal headshot because, they're portraying that this fatal headshot came from, the picket fence area, and then it shot JFK, and he went back, and then he went to the left. Now, in my other videos, I talk about this, but, I want to go into a little bit more details. So he talked, he told me, what was all said and who was saying it and everything else, which I'm not going to mention who the person was. But, he took a picture of the frames that this person shows and says, hey, here's how the fatal headshot took place. And we can see it took place, and we can see it was a frontal shot. We can see it came from the grassy knoll because he went, when JFK was shot, and he went back and to the left. Here's the image that he sent me, okay, which the person shows the frames from the Zapruder film. We have frame 313, 312, 313, and so on and so on and so on. And when they show this frames here, they say, see, JFK was shot. Where'd he go to? He went back, and then he went to the left, as you see here. Okay. Now, what I did was I went ahead and looked at these frames, okay, and when you're telling a story about, about a fatal headshot to JFK, we're going to have the story, but a little bit of smoke and mirrors in with it. What I did was I took the images here, and I line up the frames right here, and as you see here, here's frame 312, 313, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, align these frames up. Okay, here's the frames from the Zapruder film. As you see, JFK, normal here, then fatal headshot, and he fell straight back and then over and to the left. Now, it's easy to do this, okay? It's easy to tell a story, and then you blow a little bit of smoke and mirror, you put a little bit of smoke and mirrors into it, okay, to prove your case. But what people don't know is when we view this film, okay, in its original frames, we're going to see, well, it really didn't portray this way. He didn't go straight back, okay? But this is what they want to tell you, and this is what they're going to show you, okay? Even in a presentation, they're going to show you this because they want you to know that JFK was fatally headshot. He was shot from the front, grassy knoll area. He went violently back, and then he went over to the left. This is what they're going to show you. But, like I said, smoke and mirrors now, because they're not going to show you the full frames. They're going to show you partial frames as you see in that image. Here are the frames right here. Okay, we have JFK to normal, then the fatal headshot, JFK fully to the back, and then JFK over to his left. Okay, this is what they're going to show you. But see, as you notice, they're not going to show you the whole frame. They're going to show parts of it, as I pointed out here. Okay, they're only going to show you partial of the frame. And the reason why they're only going to show you partial of the frame, because if they show you the whole frame, you're going to see that there's, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. Okay, which I'm going to show you here. We go back to the full frames. Watch this lady right here. 312, 313. Where did that lady go to? She's way over here now. And now that lady's gone, and here's all gin. Right here comes into play. Here's the reason why. It's called smoke and mirrors, people. Okay, here's frame 312. How I know this is frame 312? Look at this. I marked the frames. 312, as you see right here. Frame 312. Now we're going to go to the next frame. Frame 313. Again, as you see, frame 313. I marked this frame. Now, to portray JFK going all the way back, boom, right here's that frame. And that frame is actually 322. 322. Then, we're going to show JFK all the way to his left. And what frame is this? This is frame 337. Okay, frame 337. For them to portray this frontal headshot from the picket fence area, for the gunman to strike, they would have to go with frame 312, 313, 322, 337. So they take out frames to prove their case. Now let's look at the frames that we're not going to take out these frames. We're going to keep these frames in here. What do we see? We see frames 312, 313, 314, 315, 316, 317, 318, 319, 320, 321, 322. Okay, we're not seeing JFK go violently to the back and to the left. We're seeing JFK being pushed off to his left. As you see here, JFK is being pushed off to his left. Right here. Boom. Which indicates he's being shot from the right side, not frontal shot. Right side. Because he's being pushed to the left. As I point out in these films and in my other videos, the reason why JFK didn't fully go to, fully to the left when he was finally shot, the fatal headshot, is because I said, back brace on JFK. Plus, Mrs. Kennedy has one arm here and one arm here, and she's taking an impact from him, being pushed fully to the left. Okay, so the reason why JFK is going back because Mrs. Kennedy is now pushing him backwards, and then fully over, as we see in this Zapruder film. Okay, see, now she's getting ready to pull JFK into her lap, right here. Okay, now again, like I said, here we don't take no frames out. So for him to tell people, and this is why I said people gets confused and they're getting wrong information when it comes into the JFK assassination, because people and researchers are going to sit there and take certain parts out because they only want to show you what they want you to see, and they're going to do that little bit of smoke and mirrors so they can have their story believed. Now, when a lot of people talks about one thing or another, okay, that's the reason why a lot of people ask me questions, because I'll tell them the truth. Okay, for a person to say JFK was stricken from the front, they would show the frame 313 of JFK's head exploding. They can't, they can't surpass that. Okay, but they're going to say he went back and then to the left. Okay, they're going to have to, for that to actually happen, they're going to have to take out frames themselves from the film, which, as you see here, they took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They took out 8 frames between frame 313 to 322. They took out 8 frames so they can have that shot back real quick to portray their shot, that fatal headshot coming from the grassy knoll area, and a frontal shot. Because if they'd have kept it in, the frames in, and showed it individually frames and showed that, they're going to sit there and say, well, JFK was actually going to his left, which means the shot actually came from the right. It did not come from a frontal shot. It had come from him from the right. So that brings up more questions, and they don't have no evidence to back up a shot coming in from the right, but they really don't have no evidence for a shot coming up from the grassy knoll either, or the picket fence area. But they take these images and they take these frames and they manipulate them a little and resize the images like they would do here, because if you look at the people in the background, you're going to say, oh, well, how did this person jump from here all the way over to here? Okay, so they shrink it, they make small sizes from each frame and say, here, look, JFK right here, JFK fatal headshot, JFK fully flew to the back from that fatal headshot because that pressure just shot him straight to the back. This is why between frames 313, 314, he's fully back, because this way they're describing as this is 312, 313, 314, 315. Okay, and this is what people's taking it as well, because they're looking at these frames like, okay, well, he did go back and then to the left as they claimed, but really he actually was going to the left. That shows a shot coming in from the right, not frontal shot, not even a shot from the back. But to prove their case and to keep people on their side and to prove that JFK was shot from the picket fence area, they would have to take out frames and present the frames that they want you to see to prove their case. That's the reason why I want to make this video here about the frontal shot. Well, not the frontal shot, I should say. Back and to the left. There was no back and to the left. It was actually going to the left. And the back was, as you see in this Zapruder film, as I point out, Mrs. Kennedy started pushing JFK to the back herself. What from the bullet shot, she was doing it, and then she grabs him around, and as you see here, and pulls JFK into her lap. Okay, she done the pushing to the back. He was actually shot from the right. He was going to the left. She was taking the impact, and then she pushes him off to the back of the seat, and then she brings her other hand back around again and pulls him down to her lap, as you see in this Zapruder film. Okay, I wanted to make this video here, like I said, to show people and, you know, answer this guy's question, you know, because he's very confused, because he watches my videos, he's got my book, you know, and he sent it to me, and I went ahead and autographed it for him and sent it back to him, you know, and he, you know, he likes my research, you know, great job. He told me, you know, I did a great job on my research. You could tell I've done a lot of time and investigation into the case. He wrote, but he says, you know, when he goes this person here, and they're saying there was only the fatal headshot came from the picket fence area, and he shows certain frames and close-ups in them frames and portrays them as being frames, single frames going into order. Okay, and then when you see that there was frames taken out, like I said, you got frame 312, 313, and 322, and then 337. Yes, when you take them out and you make them smaller where people can't tell in the surroundings, and you make them smaller and you bring them up like this, yeah, it's going to look like JFK was shot from the front and then struck to the back and then went over to his left, you know, to fit their story. Okay, that's what they did. Okay, but to me, if I was going to show some evidence and stuff like that, I would actually show the whole frames and also show them in proper order and not take no frames out, because when you start taking frames out, that's actually, you're doing editing to that film itself, and people is not getting full information from that film. Again, like I said, I made this video to say, okay, this is on the frontal headshot, or I should say back and to the left. Okay, there was no back and to the left, as I pointed out and I showed. And there was no shot coming from the grassy knoll, from the picket fence area. It did come from shelter number 3, which you see in my other videos and stuff like that. But there was no shots coming from behind the picket fence area. And I just wanted to post this video to give people more information on what to look for when people start talking about JFK assassination. Okay, look for certain things. Ask the questions of why is it, you know, when you see something like this, you go, why is you only showing partial of the frame, not the whole frame? Or are these in order? You know, is this frame 312, 313, 314, 315, 316, 317? What's the number of these frames that we're seeing or you're talking about? Okay, so if you ask questions like that, okay, you might say, oh, they're in order. They'll probably say they're in order or one thing or another. Okay, but you can't find out the truth behind them unless you ask the questions. Okay, and that's another thing I want to add into this video here. Ask all the questions you want. And if they can't answer the questions for you, as I point out in my other video stuff, if a person does not answer a question for you, and if they push their sales saying, here, buy my book, you want to know the answers and stuff, then I would strongly suggest I would walk away. Okay, because you're not going to get the answers. Okay, if they can't be an honest researcher and, you know, give you respect like you're giving them respect, saying, hey, you just asked a question, can you answer this for me? Okay, and if they can't, just walk away. Okay, you know, because you're never going to get that answer, even if you buy the books or, you know, hear their story or one thing or another, you're never going to get that answer. Again, like I said, this video, I was just answering our question. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Share this video on your Facebook accounts or your social media accounts. Send it to your friends, relatives, you know, brothers, sisters, you know. Let everybody know this information so they won't get caught when someone tells a story about JFK. They will know what type of questions to ask. You know, come up with any kind of questions you want. Thank you, and you have a pleasant, pleasant day.